Welcome to the Dallas Duo Podcast,
your weekly wellness coffee date.
We're friends in Dallas, always looking for the best ways to optimize our health
and have fun along the way.
Today, we are bringing back a series that was very popular on the blog. And when we worked together a few years ago, it's called Dishin with the Dietitian.
I think that was actually written in like 2019, which is insane.
But yet these topics are still super relevant.
They're all over the place.
There's new research and new developments coming out with them. So we wanted to bring it back because also these are topics that we get a lot of questions about just in our own personal Instagram DMs. So,
and now that I have a blog, it's a little bit easier.
Yes.
Because we can both reference it. So Andrea had the idea that I shouldn't just do newsletters, that I should have a blog and we could have evergreen content. And I didn't think that was helpful. But now 6 years later, the same topics are coming back. And I think that this topic is actually, I know it's one of the most popular on my blog posts that keeps coming back. And I think yours
Mine
too.
as well. Mine as well.
Which is insane that I feel like it's not a trend, that it's something that has stayed around.
It's definitely a mainstay, I think, these days. And there's been a lot more products that have come out, new developments. So to introduce today's topic, we are going to be talking about collagen, what it is, how you can use it, and how just to add it to your everyday routine if it's a good fit for you.
Yeah. So the first piece to realize is that collagen is a naturally occurring protein within your body. So it's a structural protein. So if you are hearing this and you're like, oh my gosh, I've never heard of collagen and I don't have it in my diet and I need more, that's probably not true. If you are regularly eating animal protein, you are probably getting some sort of collagen within your diet. Now, today we're specifically focusing on collagen peptides, which is the processed, broken down, powdered, or capsule form of collagen, but collagen is naturally occurring and something that you could be getting in your diet if you are consuming bone broth or chicken or skin on any of your meat.
And also, I think sometimes there's a little confusion between what's the difference between gelatin and collagen peptides. So can you clear that up a little bit before we launch into the...
Yeah, and I think, so this is so key. So collagen and gelatin have the same structure, but collagen is more hydrolyzed and broken down further. And so it's going to break down better in a liquid. So the reason that we don't recommend ever that you put gelatin in something like your coffee or a latte is because it's going to gelatinize, right? Like that's what that word comes from. And we see that on the top of cooking, broth, or soup. We see that gelatin start to develop on top of the surface. And that is great for bone broth. It's great in Jell-O, but collagen peptides are broken down a little bit further, so we can dissolve them in both hot and cold liquids. So if you are looking to jump on the collagen board and you have never tried collagen before, if you're really into like gummies and you want to make Jell-O with your kids, gelatin is a great way that you could add. Like I've actually made pre-workout electrolyte gummies using gelatin.
That's a good
electrolyte and like a juice, which is awesome. But oftentimes people like collagen peptides better because they can put it in hot and cold liquids and it's going to completely absorb. It's tasteless and it's a little bit more versatile, but structurally the benefit and the product is the same.
Awesome. Okay. And let's talk a little bit about, because we both use collagen peptides in our daily routine to give everyone an idea of how we use them and how that's been a very easy habit stack to add.
Yeah. So because, as I mentioned, it's tasteless and it absorbs really easily, I think I take that back. Full disclaimer, I think if you get the marine, I think there's a little bit of a flavor.
Most
collagen.
I've tried them and I'm not a fan. If you can do the regular ones.
Most collagen peptides are bovine, so they are from cow. And if you are looking for a marine option because you don't eat meat, there are ones that are fish derived, and those tend to have a little bit of like a fishy kind of like smell, I feel like. So I am really simple. I just put it with my coffee in the morning as the espresso is coming out of my espresso machine. I dump it in there and then I let that break down in the hot espresso and then I pour my milk on top.
Awesome. And I do mine, and you usually do iced coffee, right?
So I have to add it to the hot coffee.
So that is key.
In the beginning because I don't want it to get even. And this is such a good point because there is a little bit of like a gelatinization that still happens with the collagen, even though it's not gelatin.
Yeah.
you need to put it in a hot liquid, I think.
I think so too. So I put mine just directly in my brewed hot coffee in the morning, and then I add some nut pods, and it's like my little collagen latte situation.
It's
And
so
so,
good.
so good, so easy. Knock it out first thing in the morning. And what is the recommended serving per day if you're going to be adding it to a beverage, kind of like?
Yeah, good question. It's usually, if you're using a product, it's usually 2 servings, which was listed on the container. And that turns out to be what the research shows is benefit is coming, I believe, anywhere between like 3 to 5 grams a day. And so when we talk about the benefit of collagen, oftentimes people are utilizing it because they want a quick and easy protein into their lifestyle. I think right now there is a big push for as much protein as we can get, and any hack that we can get that in, the better. But it's not a complete protein either. And so we do want to make sure that we are getting a complete protein, meaning that it has all essential amino acids. Collagen is actually missing tryptophan. And so we want to make sure we're well-rounded in our protein sources throughout the day, and we're not just leaning on collagen for our protein go-tos.
So if you are counting the grams of protein you're having in a day, that doesn't really go towards your count then, just to clear that up.
No, it does. So it does go towards your protein count per day. But when we are getting protein in our diet, our goal is that we are getting complete sources of protein, that they're fully well-rounded in all the essential amino acids, which is the functional part of protein that's so beneficial in our body. And so because collagen is missing the tryptophan, we want to make sure we are not just relying on collagen for the bulk of our protein intake throughout the day, because then we would be missing some of the amino acids.
Okay, that's a really good point. So like, for example, I'll have my collagen coffee, and then I'll have like eggs and toast with it. So there's my protein, maybe some sausage, that I have the complete proteins then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point, just to clarify.
Yeah. And I think too, when we talk about any type of supplementation in general, when we talk about collagen is something that we are adding. It's a supplement. So it's, something that's powdered, it's something that's processed, and people are trying to decide, do I need this in my diet or not? I'm a big minimalist when it comes to products. And so we talk about like, who is this a good fit for? Who would benefit from it? Andrea, I'm interested, like, what influenced you to start taking collagen? It was a long time ago.
Well, it was back when we did the Whole30, and that was one of the big things that was coming out, and a lot of people were doing it because it fit within the program.
Yeah.
Vital Proteins was the popular one at the time, and Jennifer Aniston was
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, there's a little influence there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of what influenced me. But it is something that just stuck, and I felt like I, over the years, have noticed, that it does benefit my hair, my skin, my nails, digestion even, I think makes a big difference. So it's one of those things that has stuck. And like Whitney, like I'm kind of a minimalist. Like sometimes I'll try things and they won't stick. This is something that has really stuck, and I have continued to use over the years.
Yeah. So that brings up a really good point. When people ask me, should I take collagen? I honestly, this is like a teaser for an upcoming episode. I usually have females prioritize creatine before collagen, because creatine supports a lot of things that my patients are struggling with. But if you are adding collagen, I always consider, do we need more glycine and glutamine in your diet, which are 2 critical amino acids. And those specifically are the ones that are researched to support skin, joints, and gut lining. So if that is part of your story and part of your health goals, we know that perhaps you just had surgery, you're looking for healing and support in ligaments and joints, it may be good to add. Maybe you are struggling with some leaky gut symptoms. It may be something that we add because of the benefits of the glycine and glutamine, which really help to kind of seal and improve that lining. And then also, collagen does start to drop off as we age. So perhaps if you are in your 35, 40, headed towards perimenopause, I can't believe that's almost me.
I'm in it.
That it could also be something helpful to consider. So, but again, we say, are we getting enough collagen already through our diet? If we're not, can we maximize that? Could we add in bone broth? Or would it be easier and more convenient from like a biohack standpoint to just add it into our like morning coffee, because that's an easier habit stack?
Yeah. So say you're looking for like a complete morning habit stack. Would you, given what you were saying about creatine, would you then say like you could do collagen and creatine and aminos, not all at the same time, but if you're those 3 would be 3 really great ones to have to support what you were describing?
Yeah. So I'm a morning workout girly because I have a toddler. So There is no early enough. There's no early enough. I've been singing him to sleep with a song called It's Never Enough. It's just me saying it's never enough over and over again. So in the mornings when I wake up at godforsaken hour of 5 something and go work out, on my way home, I'm usually drinking water and electrolytes and creatine. I just put it all in my cup, fill it when I get to the gym, and I drink that on my way home. And then I have my collagen and my coffee with my breakfast.
Okay.
So I think that that's like an easy, within that first hour of waking, I'm kind of hitting complete restoration with a good protein source in my breakfast. I'm getting some electrolytes and rehydration. I'm getting that collagen and then also that creatine for muscle support. But we will do an episode on creatine because I think that is the second most asked about supplement that I get asked if we don't count electrolytes outside of collagen.
Yeah, I think that would be an important one to do. I just added it this year. That was one of my small wellness goals for the year because I was always afraid of it. You just always hear, that it's for bodybuilders.
Well, like every, bodybuilder cheating boyfriend I ever had creatine. So I was like, I don't want to turn into a cheating boyfriend, so I'm not going to have creatine. There's no way.
It's been a good addition to my morning routine. Also, so going back to collagen, I wanted to ask you, what's the difference between absorption and digestion of the collagen peptides, and why is that important?
Yeah, good point. So collagen peptides, because they are so hydrolyzed and broken down, there is a better chance that you're going to absorb it, especially if you are a patient that is struggling with leaky gut or you don't have good digestion going on. Something that's really broken down into the peptide form may do better than if you're struggling to eat enough protein or you're not tolerating foods well, that can help. And it also then has that glutamine and glycine in it that can help support that leaky gut. So you're kind of getting a 2 for 2 there. You're getting protein, you're getting amino acids, and you're getting specific ones that help with gut support. So I do realize that we asked about optimal grams per day. So it's actually 15 to 20 grams of collagen per day is what the research shows is beneficial. So I believe that most containers that you're getting are giving you anywhere from 7 to 9 per serving with the goal of not being more than 20 grams per day. So that 15 to 20 gram is what we would consider like a functional amount of collagen to really make a difference.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed I just started using a new one now. I noticed that it's 20 grams, but it's a bigger scoop. So that's more than I've seen.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been taking collagen forever, but you've cycled through different types, right? So you were taking vital proteins.
Yes.
And then you've tried further food?
I've been using further food lately, but also I've been learning more about another type of collagen called Verisol collagen. In some of the books I'm reading about menopause and perimenopause, that is one that they recommend. And I think it sounds like it's more so benefits for your skin.
Yeah. So Verisol is a unique collagen in that it's type 1 collagen. So there's different types of structural collagen proteins, and this one has been specifically researched for skin and hair health. What's so interesting about Verisol, though, is that the potency it's more concentrated. So you can take a really small amount of Verisol and see a bigger difference, where they're showing research that 2 to 3 grams is enough to make a functional difference versus 20 grams of like an original collagen peptide blend. So just like anything else, we can get really specific with the type of collagen that we're taking for its structural benefit. So if you are focused really on improving your skin health, a type 1 collagen, specifically a Verisol collagen, because that's patented and researched, may be best for you. If you're focused more on gut health, a mix of type 1 and type 2 may be more beneficial.
I did notice with the one I was taking with Verisol, it's a tiny scoop. It's like about
I think that's why people like it, is they're like, okay, this is small, this is doable. If I don't want to do a ton of collagen, that could be a way to start, but it definitely is more targeted for skin health. What's interesting is there's actually, I was looking at like what's the new research on collagen in the past few years, because Verisol, we were looking, has been out since like 2021. I actually did some contract writing for Vital Proteins, and they were talking about it then. So this is not a new research area, but there was a study done that questioned if collagen benefits from having vitamin C added. You'll see that on a lot of containers, like from Vital Proteins, and you'll see that it has hyaluronic acid added to it as well. And research actually shows that adding the hyaluronic acid didn't make a difference in the studies of improved skin density, wrinkles, etc., which is interesting because hyaluronic acid is the one thing that when I leave my esthetician, she's like, you need to put more of that on your face because it's so hydrating. By ingesting it with the collagen, it actually didn't make a difference in the study. And so if you're trying to decide, do I pay more for one that has the hyaluronic acid included? You might not need to do it, but the vitamin C added is helpful.
That's really good to know.
Yeah.
So really you could take like the Verisol collagen and also the regular
Yeah.
collagen if you wanted to do both and really double
Mm-hmm.
up, or not double up, but get an extra benefit of
Yeah.
that more
Yeah.
concentrated collagen.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then the other piece was type 2 collagen specifically is actually the one that's shown to benefit most for osteoarthritis and for pain. And so again, when we were talking about like joint integrity and improving ligaments, and there was a study done that gave individuals 10 grams of hydrolyzed collagen, and that actually had a greater reduction in rheumatoid arthritis pain, they gave people up to 40 milligrams actually of collagen, and they saw that there was some improvement in their pain in those patients. And so, again, if you are going into knee surgery or hip surgery, or you have some ligament pain or joint pain, and you're looking for a way to support your body outside of, say, like curcumin or turmeric or anti-inflammatory, that this could be a really powerful tool to add in as well.
Okay. And this kind of leads us into like the breakdown of the benefits. So that is one with
Mhm.
joints, and especially taking more depending on what your needs are. Already talked a little bit about gut barrier support and digestion, but is there
Mhm.
anything else you wanted to add?
So, glycine, which was one of the amino acids that's most concentrated in collagen, is a really beneficial tool for a liver detox. And so, phase 2 detox processes of your liver is actually supported by that glycine. So, instead of doing a juice cleanse, instead of doing a crazy reset and drinking lemon juice and cayenne, if that's still a thing anymore, I'm
Or
sure it'll
celery
circle back
juice.
around. Yes,
Yeah.
or celery juice. You could increase the glycine in your diet, which is readily available in collagen.
Okay, and that benefits your liver.
Yeah.
Okay, that is
Yeah.
good.
And if you are looking for other ways to detox your liver, you'll have to listen to our episode on alcohol.
Yes, that is coming up next, and that's going to be a good one. I'm excited.
So we think joint and bone health, gut support and gut support lining, liver support for actual detox, and skin elasticity and aging. It's really the people that it applies to.
Let's talk about how long it takes on average to see results, because I feel like it's not like you see a dramatic result right away. It's
Yeah.
kind of like like cumulative over time.
Yeah,
Do you
that's so
agree?
true. Yeah, so and this is for anything that you're adding to your routine. I always tell people to give it a month. Like that's like the bare minimum. Even when I'm working with patients, I'm like, we are not going to accomplish anything really in the next month. Like I hope that you know that. But in general, I would say once you've finished a bottle, right? And so 4 to 6 weeks, most research shows it takes 8 to 12 weeks for you to see noticeable changes. So I've seen individuals say like, hey, my eyebrows have gotten a little thicker, or my hair seems to be growing really well, or I have like more baby hair regrowth than I did prior. But 8 to 12 weeks is really where we see the benefit showing, especially in our skin, because our skin takes time to change and grow, and old skin to slough off.
And I think too, if you're trying to improve your health and you're paying more attention to getting more nutrients in your diet, all of the things work together. So if your diet is getting better,
This is why nutrition research is so hard, because it's always symbiotic. Like we are not robots that just complete one task. As soon as we are interested in taking collagen, we are also more aware of our protein intake, and we increase our protein intake. And then we know that we're sitting down to have our collagen coffee. So then we're also eating a better breakfast, and all of these things amplify, which I love. Like we start to habit that and eat better and feel better. But again, then it's hard. And the research is nuanced, because was it the egg or the collagen that's suddenly benefiting you and your protein intake?
Yeah. But I mean, all good things. You don't want to, not do.
Yeah, exactly.
The other things. You want your diet to be good and nutrient dense.
Yeah. So the last thing I would say is that, not all collagen is equal. I am really careful about sourcing. So this is actually one of my most popular blog posts is heavy metals and collagen. So like any product, there can be heavy metals in sourcing, especially in something that is processed and hydrolyzed. And so you do want third-party sourcing. If you can aim for a grass-fed and pasture-raised collagen, you want to aim for that. And then you want to realize that this is a supplement to your diet, and that what you eat still really does matter.
100%. 100%. Okay, so to wrap it up, as Whitney said, collagen is not a magic bullet, but it can be a helpful bridge.
Yeah.
And to getting, that added protein and all those nutrients in your diet. And we should always remember to prioritize your whole food proteins and colorful, nutrient dense meals above all.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want more examples or to hear more about this, we actually did an NBC segment
Yes.
on this almost 5 years ago with Christy Nelson. And so if you want to see some more ways that we've incorporated it into our routine, that's a really
Yeah.
great piece. We'll link
And
it
a
in the show
visual.
notes.
Yeah,
It's
we
a
can
great
link
visual.
it. So that's a great idea.
All right.
All
That's
right,
it.
That's it. Stay tuned for next time. Bye.